the variance compared to, let's say, the previous month, and which are the major product IDs which are causing that variance, and if there is something abnormally high or low in that particular product ID compared to the previous months as well. So this is the kind of analysis I've prepared. So let's say if I just talk about advanced industries, I saw that the major total variance was 730K, and out of that, 50% of that variance was due to one
That's
product
you are
ID.
referring. First of all, I'm sorry.
Dash
No,
fees.
it's a dash fees.
Dash fees. Yeah.
Okay.
So if I say that 730 was the total variance, let me highlight it. So let's say out of this 350, that is
these are like department numbers or product IDs, like one this
product IDs. All these are product IDs. Whatever you see are the product IDs.
Aman, sorry to interrupt. Just one more question. Is it also possible to add in, like, do you already have, I don't know, the asset name related to that product ID? Is it there already?
Asset name related to that product ID?
Yes.
I haven't added yet. I can but surely add that. That should be doable.
Okay, yes. Because I think when we are looking at it, I am able to relate more in terms of asset name. I don't remember the product ID.
And Aman, is it possible also, like last time you shared with me your like app data for the dash fee, like at a line level, so in pre-interview you can also see that.
Yeah, I have that data. I can share with you, sure.
I think you should, like last time in a folder, you can upload there, we will access. See.
Done, I'll do via similar approach only. Does it help, Meghna?
Yeah, it's better.
Is this what you're looking for?
Yeah, asset name.
For some cases, it's not yet there. I can check why there's an in few cases, but yeah.
No, I think it's picking maybe some different column, because 15331 is, I think, MCFM asset, or am I wrong?
Yeah, MG. In that case, they would do multiple.
Let me also check in my data what's the
Now I guess it's better. Is it fine now?
Yes. This is more better.
Okay. Yeah. So what I was saying is that what I actually did, I just saw that which are the major product IDs which are causing variance in this particular case.
Sorry.
So out of this 730 that we, yeah.
Sorry, I think this is still not the asset name, because in banking or in GEM we have developed, but okay, maybe we can take that up later.
Sorry, I'll you explain like
yeah, I'll let you.
Maybe there's some problem with
no worries, we can take it up later, that's fine.
Just part, like explain your what you have done.
Okay. So I was just talking about that in advanced industries, out of the 730 variance that is total, out of that 350, that is 50% of the variance is due to only one major product IDs. And for those I checked that it's majorly due to increased submission that we have received over the period. It isn't due to any error or a subscription being carried forward. Wherever we found that it's abnormally high or abnormally low, like in this particular case, you see that there was a number that was there in all the previous months, but in this month there was no submission as such. This we know anyways was a reversal case. Similarly, wherever we saw that there's something abnormally high or low, in that cases we contacted with the submitters and we checked whether everything is right on their part and do they agree with what they have submitted, or if there's anything that they think is missing or they have submitted twice. If anything of that sort is something that they believe in, In that case, we contacted with the submitters, and I have, apart from one or two, all the submitters I have received a response from. They agreeing with the charge, everything is fine. Either it's like a timing gap, like for example, if I talk about banking and securities, in this case, editor believes that for some of the codes, the billing is to be done in H1. For some, it would be done in H2. So she believes that in this case, there was no charge in April because this is something that would be charged in second half of the year, and she's fine with the fact that the revenue is lower compared to the last month. Because though you see that there's an increase from 3.9 to 5, but that's majorly because of this 3.4 deduction. If you exclude this part, it would be 7.2. So it would be around 7.2 to 5.2. So this variance, there's a reduction, and Rita, the major submitter in case of banking, aligns with the fact, and she believes that it's as per what she was anticipating. Similarly, in other cases, wherever we saw an increase or decrease, like in this case, you see that there is a big increase from the numbers that were there in earlier months, from 30,000, 80,000, 2,000 to 748K. In that case, also, Banaleta agrees with the fact that this is the right submission. And accordingly, in all such cases, I've written down the name of the people I've contacted, and though they align with the same. In only one case, I believe it was, I guess, in this particular case, yeah. In these two cases, there was no amount because the submission was though made for almost a similar amount, but the codes on which the submission was made are not yet finance approved. So revenue for the same would be included in May, instead of April. Apart from that, everything else was recorded as per what they were anticipating, and no gap in the trend or expectations is there.
Okay. Do we have MT also in here? I think there was a big increase of
MT
2
is not yet there
million.
because MT would have multiple assets. In MT, we saw that there's an increase of around 2 million plus.
Yeah, in Wave.
But that we need to evaluate separately because there are multiple codes in that and a separate file. For that, we need to dig deeper. But yeah, nothing extraordinary that we were not anticipating as of now. We can further check that out.
And you have ensured like the rest of the all controls like duplicate submission, like
yeah, we saw that. Honestly,
some sort of a
100%
control like
100% we can't be sure about it, but we have run our reasonable checks to ensure that that thing should not be there.
Oh.
Yeah, so we have checked with the submitters wherever there was a variance. We have also done our analysis. We have checked with the tech team. So yeah, we have done a fair test to be ensured that nothing is extraordinary.
And so yeah. While you are updating this file, can you share this as well? So while we are comparing our trends, we'll get some inputs so that we'll not reply
so
to this.
I'll share this file in the same folder wherein I'll put the app tables as well for your reference.
Yeah, that will be helpful.
Make it available like early because we run prelims so that it will help us.
No, after this call itself, I'll move all the files into that particular folder. I already have that.
I'm saying going forward, just make it like day one available this file. Yeah, day one.
Got it.
No, this will help that.
Yeah. Great. Carlos, over to you.
Any other question on this piece part, like, and we can go to pause part or like?
Yeah, I think I'm okay. I think one was Eclipto where the fees was like really low, but Agatha was not sure. I'm not sure who the submitter is. I know the department, it's 6055. Let me see if I can see the product ID so that we can match with Aman's file.
Maybe you can ping me the details by that time so that while Carlos is talking about the OPEX part, I can dig that further in case you need further info about that.
Yeah, I don't have the product ID handy. I'll just ping you the department over Slack. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, so looking at out of pocket and looking at the comp information, so I replied to your email, Meghna, and put some notations on there. A lot of what you pretty much, we both aligned on what we were seeing, the same thing that I saw on our end. I think the one thing, so if we talk about comp looked to be aligned, and there was nothing that was out of the ordinary. We did see an increase in prod, but that is kind of to be expected. Month over month, it's kind of a step accrual where we're going to see it increase by so much until it gets to a particular year to date. All comp accruals, though, those come directly from the comp team. Estimates can change month to month. So that's where you might see a little bit of volatility, but that generally will increase. Our side doesn't really have any visibility into that. If there is any major issues, we would have to check in with the comp team, but for 500K across the portfolio, probably just means it could have been a slight adjustment, but it's, this is not typically going to be flat. The productivity pay will increase steadily each month to represent each month's increase in the prod until we get to December. So I didn't, nothing else that there for me. I think the other pieces that were missing, I didn't check this morning, but yesterday the global insurance allocations and the I think it was the
corporate charge.
The corporate charge, right?
Yeah.
So that, at least from what I saw yesterday, was still not there. But typically in those two, right, like we'll see between both of them anywhere from about 4.6 million. That's probably not yet reflected overall in the portfolio, but I would imagine that's there today. That is always charged during the prelim period. So we should expect to see that. But outside of that,
4.6 million, the compensation you are referring.
Yeah, it's two lines that come up through the compensation.
Corporate charge and I think from insurance allocations.
Right, global insurance allocation. Corporate charge is about 2.7 monthly, and global insurance anywhere from 1.7 to 1.9, somewhere in there. So that's what we see typically on a month. It doesn't vary that much month to month, but we don't see this hit until preliminaries.
Yeah, I checked today morning. I still didn't see it. I don't know if we have it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might not have posted it yet. I didn't check this morning, so maybe they'll put it in this afternoon. But we'll keep an eye on it. Obviously, they know to post it, and I can also, just check in with Beth Horowitz on our side just to make sure that that's still going. But typically, this is normal. It doesn't go until the prelim day.
Okay.
But I mean, outside of that, that was really. I mean, I didn't see anything that really stuck up on personnel expense. Outside of, I saw, the increase in prod, but that was kind of normal. I think, most of the difference, I would say, comes out, probably more in the out-of-pocket, which, again, a lot of my findings pretty much align with what you saw. What I'll do is let's just pull up the notes. I'm going to share my screen. I'll just pull the email up that we looked at.
Yeah.
So here's what we got for out of pocket. So this one I do want to check with you because for the first one, EW. So you're saying you saw an increase of 1.3, but for me it looked like GM&S was lower.
Yeah, I think it was a decrease. I might have incorrectly written that.
Yeah.
Let me just double check on my notes. Just 1 second. Yeah, it was a decrease of 1.3 million.
Like it's a decrease?
Yeah, it's a decrease of 1.3 million. So we are aligned on that one. I think.
Are we expecting invoices or we will be creating accrual, Carlos, on this?
So this is primarily based on actuals. We've been accruing based on what we see. What was that?
Sorry, I was sneezing. I was saying sorry.
No, you're fine. No, so what we saw coming into, let me see, I'm going to do this, let me just share my screen as a whole, and I can kind of show you, like, one of the things that I saw from, so if we look at our recharge accounts, like, typically our external worker stuff's going to come through in these three GLs. And then let's take a look at growth marketing and sales. So two vendors were the ones that were the drivers. So if we look at Lohika, okay, so, and let me sort this, right? So anything where you see like Lohika, like this is the actual invoice that's coming through.
Okay.
And then when you see Wand accrual, like this is us actually accruing an invoice. So if we look at March and February, so in March, actual invoices that came through that were actual invoices that came through Coupa was 33K, but we did accrue an additional 1.7. This is what we got from Magnet, which was a little bit high, probably because they're including a couple of months in there, but this is what we got from them in March. Now in April, that reversed out, and we can see like quite a bit came through the actuals from this much, which most of that we ended up taking into March. So the actual offset the accrual reversal. And then in the latest report, we had about 898K, which that's kind of normal for Lohika. So really, when you see the difference is just that we took in an extra month in March, and April only has the 1 month. And a lot of this, honestly, with Lohika and with most of our EW vendors, they just tend to be a lot of, volatility as far as when they submit their invoices and whatnot. So sometimes you can see some timing difference. But we had more spend in March than April. There was nothing that was kind of out of the ordinary. And then the other one was ThoughtWorks, and that's a similar type deal, right? So you could see, let me sort this A to Z, like you can see like, same thing in March, it looks like they did a kind of a catch up, but we did get some accrual in there. And then we picked up a little bit more. And then you have the accrual reversal that's adding that in. So realistically, like if I look at March, including accruals and reversals, it was pretty high for March versus April, which was lower, mostly because we had these accrual reversals, and it just looked like some additional costs were taking into March. But again, this is all, when we think of the EW vendors, what becomes tough with them is that they may not submit their invoices on time, and so sometimes you'll see some volatility there. But as long as we're kind of seeing the consistent charging, we feel better about it. And then I'll typically, if anything looks really wonky, like one of the things I did reach out to, speaking of Lohika, for Lohika, like I reached out to, or I think there was another one that I had, I think it was Srijan. If I notice any kind of oddball charges, like I'll reach out to the finance lead to see if they have any kind of insight and just make sure they look okay. Like for Srijan, this was odd, right? I noticed that in the April report, we had 3 differing amounts of the same amount going to 3 cost centers. But I checked this with Leandro and he confirmed that that was correct. So it could just be, they had a big charge going to 3 different cost centers to split up. So yeah, so that was it for a little bit of an increase, but that's just volatility on EW spend. Nothing that would warrant any kind of change or anything that.
Should we make some accrual there, or like, I can see you are saying you are confident, so we should take this.
If I look, I'm good with this number. I think what happened, just March was more overstated. But like even for Lohika, like I could see like we've got the April amount accrued here, right? So I wouldn't think we already accrued this amount in our regular working. So I don't think any additional accruals needed there, nor in the ThoughtWorks. Yeah. Online database, so there's 2 invoices that I want to point out. So in life sciences, there was one invoice of this 1 million. One invoice was an 855K invoice for Carillon Research. It was, the timing period was January to April 26, it just looks like everything got charged in 1 month. Maybe they submitted the invoice in 1 month and it got charged in one shot. So, it's just a big amount that they get. They got the full invoice now at this point. So there's nothing to do there. They got hit with it and it got booked accordingly.
In Jan,
Shape, on the other hand, what was that?
sorry. I was just asking that for life sciences, like even in Jan, I see like around 1.9 million amount. So, is it possible to check whether something similar has happened in Jan as well, or was it like
Check Jan? Yeah, I could check the January
Okay.
and see if there's anything that's out there that didn't
Sure.
get charged or didn't get moved. If I could check that. Yeah,
Okay.
as far as what hit in April, the 855 is fine to stay. But that's obviously driving the cost. That's why there's so much more cost showing in March in April than in March. The next one is Shape, the 900K. So that one, there's one invoice, the 700K invoice from Evaluate Limited. It got charged in its entirety. It spans from April to October. Really, 102,000 should exist in here. So I can book an adjustment that'll bring down the cost by 615K. So that this will just get amortized over the period.
Okay.
So,
And what is the policy we have? Sorry, I am not aware of the accounting policy. So
I mean,
what amount we can expense in 1 month? Is there any threshold or it's depend on the service period only?
Typically there's a threshold of anywhere from about 250,000. In the asset space, we tend to be a little more flexible because a single asset getting a hit for 60,000, right, can be a big hit, right? And so we kind of have to do it by, as these issues come up. In this case, like 250,000 generally would warrant us going to prepaid and then amortizing. In this particular case, it could have been when the invoice was submitted. It was just submitted on the commodity code for the expense as opposed to the commodity code for prepaid. The issue is here too, is that this doesn't cross years. So even if it was all put in 1 month, everything will exist in 26. So none of this is going to bleed over into 27. So sometimes when it goes through, they might have just charged the whole entire amount because it's not crossing years. If you put it to the balance sheet, and if for some reason they don't amortize the balance sheet properly, then you have a risk that, a portion of this invoice got pushed into the next year, which obviously we don't want to happen. But, for me, it's a pretty big amount. I would say we could just go ahead and amortize it accordingly and at least get the credit back for this month because it does skew it a little bit. That's it. I mean, it's a 600K adjustment. So I would say let's go ahead and.
Generally, we will while reviewing this, anything above any expenses for especially for online database, 250K above we will be targeting.
Yeah. If anything like that pops up, that's gonna warrant me taking a look and seeing what it's for.
Okay.
So, but we can make that adjustment for that. On the internal recharges, I'm still reviewing. It looks like it almost nets between the two, that ops and SCNF, but let me take a look at the tech ecosystem. That's what primarily drives that. And then on the other one, Magna, I noticed that the QB Labs is why that personnel expense account looks so low.
Yeah.
QB Labs, which is about 700K. So that amount got booked to another GL, 660011. It's the account we used to use. I'd rather it go to the personnel expense so it keeps it in line with what we've seen so far. So I will book an entry to move the costs over to the reclass entry. I'll do that during prelims. So what we'll do is you'll see an increase in that one account, but then a decrease will be in the 660011, but net it's going to be a zero impact.
Okay. So it can I expect an increase of around 700K or do you have
about
a specific
700?
number?
We'll increase the personnel expense by about 700K.
Okay.
but you'll also decrease another account which I think that falls under online databases and other.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll see a net decrease of the same. So overall, it's a net zero. It's just going to be where an expense is classified.
Okay.
And the platform. So this one, I kind of might need a little bit of your help with. Because D-Raj typically handles this entry during prelims. He is not here this week. But I think Leandro had reached out to me and said there was about 2.5 million sitting in a central account for GM&S that needs to be adjusted.
Yeah.
But he gave me the percentages and cost centers. I don't know, Megan, if you have that information handy and I could create an entry.
Yeah, maybe I can just quickly share my screen once, and I can just show you what was like done last time, and I think we need to replicate the same this time. Let me share my screen. So for maybe I can start with ops. For ops, what I know is they don't have like a percentage. They share a fixed number which needs to be like charged. So this was the table, I think, which Sebastian had shared for ops, and so 82 K gets removed from the central, and then it gets split into all of these other cost centers within ops. So if I look at say March, this is what was essentially happening. 82 was getting removed from the central using this particular GL, and then it was getting accounted in all the other cost centers that he had mentioned using the same GL. But in April, I see that there another GL is being used, and even like the signs are, I think, reversed. So instead of reducing the central by 82, I think it's still increasing it and then reducing it from all other cost centers. So I think two changes here. One, the sign needs to be reversed, and second, it needs to be moved to this GL 0066 4 times 0 10 instead of the other GL which is right now being used, which is this one 111.
Okay. Now on this one, based on the amount, they only give me a certain threshold that I could book during prelims. This is a smaller amount than that threshold, so I don't know if it will be allowed to go through for the ops one. Because if you're saying this is only 82,000, like they will likely kick it out, because I think we have a certain threshold of about, I'm trying to look for the exact threshold. I think it's like 250K if it's a P&L impact. So they may not, I could try to see if I can get it through, but I don't know if that one will go through because the amount so is small. Obviously, the grand scope.
Because only one cell have this issue, like it's like one example, of like 82 is in totality, or like we have other cells?
No, so there are two cells
Your central department is also available in other.
No, cells. But there are only two cells who get these adjustments done. One is ops and one is GM&S. I think banking used to get it done earlier, but then they stopped it, I think, from 2026. But like Sebastian,
what is the total amount for like your central ops and your GM&S? 82 in ops.
I need to check what the amount is. But Sebastian and Leandro do check this, like if these platform adjustments have gone through or not. Especially like Leandro does keep an eye on this. Sorry, I missed it. If he has already raised it to you or not, but like even during prelims, like even he's kind of checking this. So I am just a bit cautious that we push these adjustments correctly based on the numbers that they've provided. But sorry, I didn't 100% get that threshold part that you were mentioning. Like I'm not sure how Dheeraj posted these, if there was that threshold. So I'm not really sure how these got posted then.
If you post, it's generally during prelims, like on a quarter end, like let's say a March month end, our threshold is much lower because it's a quarter end. When it's a regular month, which is like, for example, April or May, they're not considered, I forget the word that was used. There's a much less threshold on these because they're not big reporting months like quarter ends. So our threshold is higher. So anything P&L has to be 100K in impact. And even in this is not really 100K. It's a zero impact because we're just reclassing it. But with it being 80K, it might get spit out. They might say, no, we can't post that this month because of the amount kind of low. But if you go to the right, Magna, because I kind of want to understand a little bit what we're trying to do here, because, all right, so we're saying that on a monthly basis, we give a credit to the IK8 6136 for 81,000, right?
Yes.
And then we charge those other codes. Okay, I gotcha. But what's happening in April?
Instead of giving credit, we are giving like another cost to this center lot.
Yeah, we are
So what are we
increasing
doing
it
in April?
Increasing the cost to the others.
in April. So
So it's a
basically,
reverse sign, I guess.
yeah, we are, instead of reducing the central by 82 or crediting
You're
it,
giving them 80. Okay.
yeah, and we are taking from all the other cost centers where we are actually supposed to give it. So even now the
We are
impact
part
is
the
zero.
cost in the center.
Yep.
Impact is still zero, but then the signs need to be like reversed in between them, and
Correct.
the
They're
GL
going in the, I gotcha.
and
It's
the
going in the wrong
GL,
direction.
yeah, and the GL account also needs to be changed. Right now it's posted on this one for March, but if you see in all the other previous months until March, it was posted on this GL. So we need to be using this one.
Okay, if you can share this, let me try to see if that can go in. I could try to include that, because then realistically what that means is that we have to credit the central department 160, because you not only need to reverse the charge, but you gotta actually, it should be a credit balance in there anyway, so it needs 106. So I might be able to I can do it that way then. So that might be easier. So if you could share this with me, I could go ahead and start populating an entry.
Yeah. Okay, I'll just hard code this and share. And other one was, I think, related to GMNS.
Yes.
Which is what you were also saying that Leandro shares these percentages with us in terms of out of pocket and then in terms of personal comp. So all the personal comp adjustment, this personal comp and out of pocket different GL accounts and different splits started from last month itself. So if you'll see in March, there were 2 GLs used. One was this 011 where all the personal cost adjustments were posted. So this was reversed from the central department, which is 4849, and it was posted to all other departments in the ratio that he has mentioned over here. So if I see, this would be like 7% of the total. So like these are the percentages. I think Dheeraj did some calculation and then he posted it in this particular GL. But in 2026 April, I see the amounts are posted, but again the sign is, I think, reversed, so we will need to change the sign.
It almost looks like that they booked it as a reversing entry. So let me.
And I think even the percentages, like if I see this, I need to sum it and see maybe.
Yeah, I'm not sure what this April entry is, to be perfectly honest.
Oh, okay. Just 1 second. Oh, I won't be able to.
It almost looks like it's reversing it, but there's something else in there.
Yeah.
I might have to connect with Leandro on this one to find out what to book.
Yeah, and out of pocket, I don't see any adjustments posted. Like over here, you'll see in March we posted this Dheeraj has a SSE story which was shared by Preeti to him, and while making that adjustments, he just pulls at that point of time whatever is the out of pocket and personal comp expenses on the central departments, and he just reverses the personal comp one on this GL and the out of pocket one on this GL, and then splits it across all the other GLs in the ratio that Leandro has mentioned. So out of pocket, I don't see any adjustments at all, but for comp, I do see, but then the signs are different and percentages are not making much sense. So I think we would have to make those adjustments.
Okay. Okay. Let me check with Leandro on that. If you could send me the out of pocket information on the ops, I can at least get that together, and then yeah, we'll do that.
Okay. I'll share it with you after the call. I'll just share the hard coded this particular view that I'm showing you right now. So I think that will be helpful.
Okay.
Ashish, anything else that you wanted to check apart from this?
Otherwise, like I said, I'll make those adjustments. Like I said, I think the big adjustments that are needed, we have 3, right? Or 4 adjustments. So we have the reclass of the QB Labs 712K. That's just going between accounts of the 66 to the transferee comp personnel account. We've got we're going to go ahead and move a portion of the invoice for life sciences to prepaid. So that's about a 600K credit. And then we have the 2 platform allocations for ops and GMNS.
Yes.
Okay. And one more thing to check, Aman, can you check, like, is there any fees we are expecting in CryptoS? We don't see any number coming there. So just want to be curious, like we're submitting the task here. Can you check with them? Is there any input expected there?
Ashish, I couldn't hear you properly. Any fees that we are expecting in?
CryptoS fees.
Aman is talking about the
CryptoS. Okay.
Yeah. Aman is talking about the department that I just pinged you, 6055.
No, I got it. I'm just checking, like, are there multiple submitters or so? If there's single one, I can check with them. If multiple, yeah, maybe some struggle. But yeah, I can check with them in that case.
Because it's a like new asset, we want to see the, like, is there any revenue coming or not on this?
Got it.
Okay. I think that was all that we wanted to check. And let us know when the platform adjustments are posted, Carlos. I'll just share the view with you, and then maybe I can cross check again by pulling the data.
Okay, sounds good.
Great. Okay, thank you,
All right.
everyone.
Thanks all.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much for your time.
Bye-bye.